In this training, we're going to be talking about natural language processing, also known as NLP, and how to optimize for it. Now, this one is super critical. I've done a lot of split variable testing over the past 6 months to a year, and this is one of the ones that was most significant in terms of changing rankings in a controlled environment. So don't sleep on this one. This is absolutely critical, especially moving into more complicated algorithms that are searching for voice-friendly queries, Google voice-friendly queries, when Google is actually being able to dig into your content and understand what it's talking about. Answering questions in these types of formats is going to give you an edge, a significant edge that's proven by testing. So first, what is NLP? It basically, just don't confuse it with neurolinguistic programming, which is something completely different. It's a way to, speak and influence others through the way that you talk. This is instead natural language processing. And what this is, it's a branch of computer science that is basically used to interpret human language. It's reading human content and making it understandable for computers and software and code. And one thing you need to know about it is NLP is very difficult. It's extremely hard for a computer to understand our language. If that weren't the case, we'd be much more advanced in terms of communicating with robots, computers, and stuff like that. They're pretty good, but they're not great. Here's an example. If at the time of this presentation, if I Googled how many legs do horses have, the answer in the featured snippet is 6 legs. And the reason they messed that up is because apparently horses have 2 legs in the back, but they have 4 legs in the front. Ha ha. But yeah, they totally messed that up. And they pulled a result that's completely incorrect because they don't have a way to really double check information like that that's consistent and good. So what I've learned by looking into this stuff and trying to optimize for it is basically that when you make things easy for this NLP algorithm, you're going to get rewarded for it. NLP algorithm's hard, and in general, if you can write your answers and write your content in such a way that it makes it easy for Google, you're going to get rewarded for it. And that happens to a lot of things with Google in general. Like, I'm sure you've seen that schema optimization. Once you put that on the page and make it easy for Google to understand what type of page you are, where it's located and all that, of course it's a ranking factor. How about having a nice heading structure with one H1 on the page, H2s under that? Of course Google loves that. Fast websites, Google's trying to load or serve up fast websites because they're focusing on mobile search. If you have a fast website, you're making things easy for Google, you get a ranking increase. And this is just how it goes with Google over and over again. You make things easier for them, you get rewarded for it. So here's how to write NLP friendly content. It's very, very simple. First, echo back the query. Just restate the query in the beginning of your sentence. After that, you give your answer. And then if it applies, mention the correct units with that answer. So here's an example. If the Google query is, someone types in, what is the best temperature to brew beer? Your answer, your NLP friendly answer would look like this. In our opinion, the best temperature to brew beer, that's echoing back the question, is, and here comes the answer, between 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, also 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. So the answer is clearly there, and I've also assigned units that would go along with an answer like that, so Google's algorithm can cross-check to see if all the right signals are coming up to identify that as an answer for temperature. Here's another one. And this is one that you're more likely to encounter. Best ping pong table. Well, what's the query based on that? What's the question? The question is, what is the best ping pong table? So here's our NLP-friendly answer. The best indoor ping pong table is the Killer Spin Revolution. So this is very, very clear, very easy for the algorithm to pick up, scan your content, and see, okay, this person definitely answered it. I'm not sure if it's right, but at least it's an answer. Now here's some testing results from this. So we tested this on 5 live websites in a 4-week time frame. So we just rolled this out on 5 live websites with hundreds of pages on them, between them, and let it sit for 4 weeks and just observed over time and see what improved. The number of featured snippets we had rose from 23 to 47. The average rank, so the average rank of all the keywords that we were tracking, was 15.2 before, and that it's confusing to say this, but it dropped or increased to 11.2. So our average rank moved up from 15.2 to 11.2. The traffic, the daily traffic between all the sites was 10.9 thousand, and it jumped to 12.9 thousand. So pretty significant increases. Now, why was that? Because simply we made it apparent to the algorithm that there's no doubt about it that we answer the query. We gave it to him into a format that's not split up between multiple sentences all over the page. It's one single bite-sized sentence. And you can see how much we benefited in the featured snippet, which is looking for short, concise answers as well. And we believe that this is going to come more into play when Google is giving more answers in terms of Google Voice. Google Voice, if you search for something in Google Voice, it's not going to have the ability to read you back 3 paragraphs of text, but it will echo you back one short sentence, which is what we're looking for here. Now, the next question is, where do you do this? Where do you implement this? Any page that you want to rank has at least one query involved with it. You just need to identify that and then answer that in your content in an NLP friendly format when possible. So for example, if we go back to best ping pong table, and the answer is the best ping pong table is the killer spin revolution. So probably that would go into an article, a review roundup article, where you're listing out ping pong table number 1, ping pong table number 2, number 3. So in the section where you have your review of, or your mini review of the killer spin revolution, you can put that sentence in there and it'll completely fit in your content. In our opinion, the best ping pong table in blank year is the killer spin revolution. There you go. You have you got it all nice in NLP format, and it fits into the content appropriately. Another corollary to this is this often applies to your subsection. So take a look at this article. This is, I believe we pulled this from Healthline, and the query of the full article is how to lose belly fat. But we have subsections here that are defined by these H2s, which is very important to cover. You'll see that in a different video given by Jay on how to make content briefs and how to make sure you're covering all the subtopics. But either way, there's subtopics within this, and these also have queries involved with them. And so just think back, the main query is how to lose belly fat, and then one of the H2s here is how to eat plenty of soluble fiber. That's a subsection, a sub-answer to how to lose belly fat. So what would the question be here? Is eating fiber good for losing fat? So you'd want to answer somewhere in there, eating fiber is good for losing fat. Like you would just answer that back directly right away. Healthline has done that kind of right here. Soluble fiber may help fight belly fat. So they're a little bit less have less conviction because they're a health website. Next one would be here's their answer, or here's their subsection: avoid foods that contain trans fats. And the query would be, which fats are bad for losing weight? And then we would just answer some down here. The fats that are bad for losing weight are saturated fats. I don't even know the real answer, but you would answer that in the right format right there. Hope this makes sense. Again, just reiterating how important this is. We did a lot of single variable tests. This is a game changer when you figure this out. This is part of the Medic Buster SOP, so definitely roll this out. It's easy to do. Just might take an afternoon depending on the size of your site.